You know, if you're a photographer or videographer who's looking to work freelance, Rory's sort of new to the freelance world, and me and him have been chatting about what you got to do, how you've got to push yourself, the business side of being a freelance photographer and videographer. So we're going to sort of loosely discuss that realm if you're interested. We have an esteemed guest. Ruaridh Ruaridh Kidd.
Rory.
Roll that intro.
That's really good. Let's roll that intro.
That's the intro.
Yeah.
Like that. Cheers. Good to have you here.
Yeah. Nice to be here.
Bought a new cup
In
just
this,
for you coming around, by.
Very, very not cold studio.
It's lovely and roasting. It's the tropics here. He's coming directly from Sri Lanka to Northern Ireland, where it's fucking absolutely freezing.
It's been about a year since I've been in Sri Lanka, but yeah.
Rory is how the hell do we know each other? This is another internet friendship, effectively. This is just two men met on the internet. It wasn't a dating site.
No.
It's all legit.
Yeah, and my fiance actually messaged me as I flew over here saying, I hope Dill is who he says he is and not just some old creepy man who's going to catfish me and put me in a dungeon.
And
verdict? We're in a weird dungeon and he's put me on camera.
Yeah, so we're underground here.
Yeah.
Only people surviving in the moles.
But then as I did land, and then I said, I'm just landing, going to get my bags. And you went, I actually don't live in Ireland.
Yeah, have a good
I was
week.
like, fuck. Can we swear in this podcast?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You can say whatever word you want there.
Cool.
So, yeah. Effectively, Rory and I don't know, we got chatting years ago. I've met a lot of people over the years through the Instawebs. And it's this weird world where a lot of the people I talk to on a daily basis are from the internet, which is mad when you think about it.
You have no real friends.
Yeah. Yeah, I've only got virtual friends. I'm going to make a killing with friendships on AI. My wife was like, how do you know Rory? And I was like, just Instagram, like just chatting. So I guess we sort of got talking because he surfs, I surf. And we both take photos of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, effectively. That was it.
Yeah.
It's just like a little criteria. Can we be mates? Do you surf? Tick. Photos? Tick. And then it was like, I think I said to you, I'd like to come over to Cornwall and surf.
Mm-hmm. And then you never did it.
I never bothered. Yeah. Because I'm a man of many words and few actions. But Rory did a little bit. So he was like, look, I want to do a holiday. So I'd quite like to come see Ireland. I'll come over for a few days and see you. And I was like, that's totally fine. So we booked a slot in.
Yeah.
At the time he said 3 days and I was like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
And then he's like, confirmed flights 1 week. And I was like, fucking hell, mate. What if we don't get on?
Yeah. And even as I checked into the Premier Inn, they were like, 7 nights.
Yeah.
Why are you here? What are you doing? It's like, work, I guess.
Yeah. It is funny because no one goes to their Premier Inn for more than like 1 or 2 nights. Yeah. People are just like staying for a business trip and they're away. So 7 nights in March as well. They're probably the longest staying customer this whole month.
Yeah.
So
raking it in March.
Needless to say, I'll be honest, when you said a week, I was like, fucking, that's commitment. Like that is.
It's mainly because my fiance is in Sri Lanka for work, and I was left on my own in Newquay, and was just like
in the middle of
winter. Got nothing booked. I've got nothing to do.
Did you think to yourself, like, how much thought went into booking a week to go over? Like, was it like you just did it?
I think I did it and went. I think because I was texting you as I was trying to book it.
Yeah.
And you said do Belfast City, not Belfast International, and I went, yeah. And then I was looking, and I was like, I mean, it's only this much to book a week.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. It doesn't even matter with flights because it was. This is the annoying thing is I booked the flights and then found the hotel and went, oh fuck.
Yeah.
It's like 400 quid to stay.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the spur of the moment to just go. I'll just do a week because Lucy's. If I do a week, then when I get back to Exeter and then drive to London, she'll be home.
Yeah. Okay.
So for me, that made sense rather than doing a long weekend and then back to Newquay and then drive to London.
Okay.
So that made sense, but I never really made sense of it as I was booking it.
Yeah, I can imagine. And have you booked anything like this before from people from the internet?
I've never met anyone from the internet before.
It's funny because I try to tell my kids about safety on the internet, kids. And then my kids are like, who's this friend of yours? I was like, I don't know, I've never met him, he's from the internet. Yeah. And they're like, and my daughter actually says to me, she's like, oh, you tell us the internet, and then and I'm like, yeah, but I'm an adult. I'm allowed to do this. It's completely fine.
You can fully judge a person, hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah,
on the internet, or by the way that we've actually chatted.
Yes, I think so. I think that's the difference. Like, just to safety net that we've like talked, and then we've fucking voice messaged for ages, and then we've started phoning.
Yeah.
So I guess part of what pushed this forward was Rory's a little bit newer to freelance. So he's been working as a photographer and in the surf industry for years, and then decided to go out freelance. And then he started chatting to me about bits and pieces. I think it must have been gear that started.
I think it was,
what microphone shall I get?
Typically gear, and you went, I don't care about gear.
Yes. Don't chat to me.
Yeah, and I'm like, fuck, this man doesn't want to help me at all. And rather than, I sort of switched up the way that I asked you questions where it wasn't about gear, and it was more about approaching people or figuring out rates, how much am I worth, or even, and what this whole trip has been beneficial for is how to market yourself.
Yes, okay.
Which has probably been the reason how I got to know you anyway. It was through your stories on Instagram.
Yeah.
And going, this guy seems class.
Yeah.
And then...
She was correct, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. But then initially it was all about surfing, because I had a bit more knowledge in surfing and you had a bit more knowledge in photography.
Yes, exactly.
So I would go, stop paddling like that, or that board's far too small for you.
Yes, yeah.
And then in exchange, it was like, I'm trying to do this thing, but I really don't know if I'm doing it right.
Yeah.
And then you'd give me...
That's exactly it. I was asking like surfboard shape sizes and being like, what would I was like, no, I'm not talking about me, for asking for a friend, but if there was a large seal that hadn't swam in a while and wanted a surfboard that was fitting to carry its ass, not me, what board would that seal buy? And he was just like, not the one you're looking at.
No. Not a 6'3" with 30 liters.
Exactly. So yeah, there was a bit of back and forth about that, I guess. And like, actually, do you know what? That would be a good little spot to drop in a fucking intro, because what I always do wrong with these podcasts, I do wrong with every video, is I forget to do that little intro bit at the start. That little part that's like, you know, if you're a photographer or a videographer who's looking to work freelance, Rory's sort of new to the freelance world, and me and him have been chatting about what you got to do, how you've got to push yourself, the business side of being a freelance photographer and videographer. So we're going to sort of loosely discuss that realm if you're interested. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just interject that at the beginning.
Yeah.
Just before rolling the intro.
Okay.
Always forget about that. It was a bit sick to tell people.
But we don't have to do that now.
No, I just did it. That's it done.
Oh, right.
I just said done there, yeah.
Oh, right.
Okay. 2 birds, 1 stone.
I was just like, he's just explaining something to me.
He's just doing a test. I was like, that's it, done. Yeah, and I think that's the thing is like, I mean, I would hate to imagine what actual large following based people get asked and how many questions, because I don't have a large following, and the amount of people that ask me about gear is insane. Like, it's actually crazy. And I think sometimes I don't mind giving information. If someone's like, you know, suggest a mic, I'll always be like, well, this one or that one. But yeah, I think for me, like so many people make the mistake of thinking that gear and technique is the main thing. So, and I've seen so many really talented photographers and video makers who just can't do it, just can't work for themselves, because they're worried too much about the gear and they're worried too much about the techniques, and they're not worried about the business side of what you're trying to do. The bit that's the bulk. Yeah. Dealing with people, talking to clients, budgeting work, time management, all of that sort of shit.
Which is the new thing that I've discovered is going freelance. You might be the greatest photographer in the world, but if you can't run a business and deal with people, it's basically, I've now gone into hospitality. Okay. Again. Yeah. Like, I didn't want to be a barman anymore. So I left
to film barman.
To film surfers.
Yeah.
And then going freelance to being a photographer, you then have to be hospitality again and deal with people's
I thought you
emotions.
meant like going back into hotels.
No, but like shooting food. Yeah. No.
Gotcha.
Like dealing with their emotions and dealing with their expectations.
Yeah.
And then you have to be that customer facing. It's customer service. That's what I meant, not hospitality.
Gotcha.
But and
so
that's
your backstory. Mm-hmm. What got you into taking photos and video in the start?
My dad.
Okay.
Maybe my granddad. My dad. There's a really funny story where my dad had this like Nikon for as long, or Nikon, wherever you're from, for as long as I can remember. And he would take it on all of our family holidays, and we would always get like photo albums after the holiday. Yeah. And there's a story that he always tells where we went kayaking down the Dordogne in south of France. Oh, poshos.
Very fancy.
Yeah. And I was in a separate kayak. Dad and my little sister and someone else is in this kayak, and they capsize.
Okay.
Steph falls out one way, the camera falls out the other way, and my dad goes, for a split second, goes camera or daughter.
And then obviously goes to the camera.
Yeah. And then he said when he grabbed, the camera was dead, like waterlogged and everything. And he said it's the one thing that he regrets most in his life.
Saving his daughter out of
I mean, she had a buoyancy aid on, so she would have been fine.
The camera was at risk.
And now he's gone like DSLR mirrorless.
Okay.
And he's still like a Nikon lover.
Sorry to hear that.
He'll never go, I know. There's a constant berating of like Nikon shooters. Yeah.
For no reason.
I know.
I absolutely love Nikon cameras. But it just seems like the one common thing that we can all do is just slag
Nikon,
Nikon people. Yeah, like I actually quite like Nikon cameras, and like I shot on Nikon cameras, and it's just so funny that we can all agree just for the humor of just like hating on Nikon for no reason, even though they're legitimate cameras.
So through my dad like photographing all of our holidays, he actually bought me an Olympus. Could not tell you what model it was called.
Okay.
Back when I was like 12, and then loved it. Got really into photography, and then finished high school, went to uni, studied music, and then as I got into music, that was like the age of Instagram turned up, and it was like those weird bordered Instagram. It was just photos.
We all took photos of our food.
Yeah. But with weird borders and weird filters.
And you can make it look like a Western.
Yeah. And I started doing that for the band.
Okay.
And we made our own Instagram account. And I took all the photos. And then I got into, like, YouTube started growing. So I got into vlogging. And then I was like, let's document the band backstage and film and like recording an album. And how cool would that be for someone to see? But then realizing that I hated doing that and I would rather be in the moment.
Oh, playing the music.
Playing the music and recording.
Were you a good band? Like, were you a successful... Well, that's subjective, obviously. What I mean by that is, were you a remotely successful band? Like, I would say I was in a band in school, but like we played in one play in school.
Oh, yeah. So I joined the band halfway through recording their first album.
Okay.
And the cool thing was I was first year at uni and my lecturer was the singer in this band. And in my first couple months at uni, he said, our drummer's moving to New Zealand. We need a new drummer. Like, do you want to come and listen to us and see what you think? See if you want to join us. And I was like, my God. Like
He wasn't just asking you to help find a drummer.
Yeah,
you just assumed, I'll play it.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, fucking I'll give him some sticks.
And it was really weird because my audition was in the studio while they were recording their first album.
Okay.
And he put me in the studio on the drums and I had to play to a track. And then he said, that actually sounds great. Like, what do you...
So he was surprised. So he wasn't actually...
And then he asked me to join the band. And then he said, why don't we just sit and record what you've just done? And then I was suddenly on the album. After that, it was a independent album. Like, we made it and funded it ourselves. They did.
In the uni?
In the uni, they had the 4 different recording studios.
Okay.
And we just rented one. Well, he got one for free because he was a lecturer.
That's fucking lecturer privileges there, isn't it? Like,
and then,
like I'm doing a night class.
And then that was 2010.
Okay.
And then in 2000, I was in the band until 2019.
Okay.
So just under 9 years or 9 years.
Yeah.
And in 2018, we finished our second album, which had more of Creative Scotland funding.
Okay.
So they had like a budget to give to a bunch of people if they could pitch you a good idea.
What kind of music was this?
Difficult to describe. I feel like you're doing this to prompt it now. Picture
Braveheart.
Yeah. Picture Mumford & Sons at a Ceilidh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah.
The second album is a bit more indie rock.
Okay.
So the first album's very folky.
Right.
And the EP before I even knew the band was incredibly folky. They're all from Shetland.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
And the second album that came out is like we've been listening to too much Frightened Rabbit, too much The National, too much Arcade Fire.
Okay.
So there's a lot of that influence.
Right.
And then like a fiddle and a mandolin.
Okay. So you joined this folk band and it got a little like indie, I guess?
It got very indie.
Okay.
And Sean, our singer, because I'm a massive Foo Fighters fan, and Taylor Hawkins as a drummer.
Yeah.
So Sean would go, when Rory joined the band, he just Taylor Hawkins all of our songs and just went, yes, flammed everything and hit cymbals and stuff.
Okay.
Just made it a bit more rocky. And then we kind of slowly, we got another guitarist in and a new bassist, and it just became a bit more indie rock with a sprinkle of folk.
So who was left in the end?
Left in the end was Sean, our mandolin player, and the fiddle player. Because when I left,
Trying to feel like Trigger's broom.
when I left, then our bassist left, and then our guitarist who we brought in left, but to do their own stuff.
Okay.
And actually, our bassist now makes music for video games in Dundee.
Really?
Yeah. Which is where Rockstar originates
I love when
from.
people find weird niches like that. Like that's pretty niche.
And it's super niche in that if you ever played a video game and you go from one area to another area, there is a seamless transition to give you that different sense of environment. Mm-hmm. And they do it a lot in Disney World as well.
From real life. Yeah,
from the foyer into Adventureland, you don't notice it, but the music changes.
Yeah.
And you're
suddenly there's monkey noises.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
and you're in so that's what Stuart does. And that's his job, which is class.
that is pretty cool.
That's a cool job to have.
Pretty weird. Like, yeah.
But yeah, what was
So you did?
Yeah.
Okay, so you came from music, and then
Came from
I
music.
find this quite interesting because like I think everyone's got their own little weird backstory, but they all sort of are some way similar. I find with a lot of people who work in this industry, especially freelance, is that a lot of us come from this background where we were doing something else, and then the photo or video was like I guess a byproduct of that. Like for me, it was I rode bikes and I took photos and videos. You had a band, you were like, I'll do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then did you think at that time that there was ever going to be something you would do for a living, or were you just like, nah, I'm going to be a famous rock star?
Yeah.
That probably.
Sadly, yeah.
What a typical male dream.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Superman or a rock star, one of those two.
Yeah. And then turned 27 and went, oh, crap. I should probably have done
I was
something.
going to say, that's when the dream died.
That's when the dream died. And I think I did speak to my mum and dad about it, because my dad notoriously was like, I just don't like his voice, Rory. I just don't like his voice. And I think he came to maybe one gig.
Would he be like, I can't hear your drums, Rory. Your man singing there is distracting the drums.
He was very supportive in that I was a good drummer.
Okay.
But he did not like the band. He was like, I just don't like the music.
Oh, right.
Didn't like his voice, because Sean is from Shetland, so he has that twang.
Okay.
And he sings in a Scottish accent, but it's not Twin Atlantic and it's not Biffy Clyro.
Okay.
It's weird and folky. And but I really liked it.
Okay.
But yeah, so from that, turning 27 and going, I should probably think of a different career. And then where am I going with this? Through trying to capture behind the scenes of the band with YouTube and Instagram, I then got really into photography. And then I started doing promo shoots for bands at uni.
Oh, right.
And me, the bassist of Dante, and the guitarist, we left and made our own little trio, which was a bit more grungy.
Yeah.
Because that's what we wanted to play.
Okay.
And I shot all 3 music videos, which are on YouTube.
Okay.
And on my portfolio and stuff.
What are these two bands called?
We were called, so the first one is Dante, the Inferno.
Okay. All right, gotcha.
Or the Divine Comedy.
I'm just thinking of Dante's Peak with Pierce Brosnan.
And the second band was called Dead Fiction.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was
getting edgy now.
Rock and roll. Yeah. And then I was actually part of another band called Made as Mannequins, which was actually, now that I look
back.
That's
a good name, to be fair.
Now that I look back on it, had I not left all 3 bands to then pursue a surfing career, which is another great choice for it.
Be a pro surfer, yeah.
That band was so popular in Glasgow, and we actually supported a lot of people who have become so famous now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, there was something there.
You said you supported Emerald Armada from here.
Yeah, so that was Dante. Yeah, we supported Emerald Armada at the Glasgow Union, I think Freshers Week or something.
Fuck, there you go.
Yeah. But with other bands, like I supported, not Mika, but it was like someone who sounded like that.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you went from that to, you just realized, that's it, I'm not going to be a musician, I'm going to be a surfer?
Yeah. 2018 I won't go into it, but it was a really sort of dark dip in my life and in music, especially Scottish music. And after that dip happened, I was like, I kind of don't want to do this anymore.
Okay.
And I was looking for an outlet and looking to just run away. And then this is where Ticket to Ride comes into the whole story, is when I left high school and did a gap year, I went surfing in South Africa with a company called Ticket to Ride.
Okay.
Didn't think anything of
guest.
As a guest.
Okay. And Ticket to Ride are like an events place?
They're a
tours?
worldwide surf adventure company.
There you go.
If you want to learn how to surf, they make you really good really quickly.
Okay.
Their quote for their 10-week trip is, it's like 10 years of surfing tuition in 10 weeks.
Oh, right. And is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
We had a guy, the company, I was on the trip recently in South Africa, not as a guest, but as an employee. And we had a guy who's 18, never touched a surfboard in his life, and is now a surf coach in 10 weeks. He snowboarded, so he kind of knows about how to stand. But teaching him how to pop up on a foamy, but the thing with South Africa is when we travel from Cape Town to Durban, the waves change and the waves get progressively a little bit harder. Okay. But then you're at that stage to progress because you're constantly getting tuition every day.
Okay.
2 weeks in Cape Town, a couple days in Plettenberg, a couple days in St. Francis, 2 weeks in J-Bay, which is like
world class.
J-Bay is world class, but also if you look around the bay, there are other waves that are accessible to lesser experienced surfers.
Okay.
It is the mecca of learning how to surf J-Bay.
Right.
It's not just super tubes, this like room high wave that'll it's like knee shallow.
When I think about that, because like the way I've surfed in Ireland has been like, it's been a long slog. And I mean, I live nowhere near the actual good wave. So it'll be like, I'll go out for a surf, I'll do really well, and I'll be like stoked. And then I won't surf for like 4 weeks.
Yeah. And you wonder why
later I've forgotten what the fucking sport even entails.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do here?
And you wonder why we never see a British person on the world tour or in the Olympics being a surfer.
Yeah.
Because that is British surfing.
Yeah. Fickle.
It's never consistent enough and the waves aren't good enough. Saying that, we have one who's coming up, Lucas Skinner, who's probably going to take the world by. He's just sponsored by Red Bull recently. Yeah. So he's going to hopefully do well.
Have you ever watched a movie called Performing Monkeys? You ever seen that?
No.
Oh, that's fucking, then it doesn't matter, we'll go no further with this, but it's a fucking video that just epitomizes British surfing.
Yeah.
Just sludge. Like grey, full suit, hoods, boots and gloves. Oof. Called sludge. Every time I think of British and UK surfing, that's what I think of.
Yeah.
But like we went out that day and it wasn't like that at all.
Class.
Yeah, so you pushed in, you went as a guest with these guys, and then what you were saying is you ended up working for them.
Yeah, so when I was looking for that outlet and to run away, Ticket to Ride posted a secret Spain trip, which was like basically just to make more revenue, I think, for the company.
Okay.
And it was a week in Spain, in Somo, and it was those that had been on a Ticket to Ride trip previously. Come over, we'll have beers, we'll get some waves, we'll just hang out. And then you can go about your day. Okay. So I was like, that's what I need. I need to get away from it. And then when I went on that trip, I met a girl called Jeffa and the trip leader called Chad, who was a South African guy from the Bluff.
Okay.
Of Durban.
Okay.
And they basically recommended, go to Sri Lanka. We've got a surf house there. Get your instructor qualification again, like I did in 2010.
Okay.
But use it. Go down to Cornwall, work for us at our surf school in Perranporth, and then, you can find your way that way. And
why did you have to go to Sri Lanka for a surf?
So Ticket to Ride do this camp, like a smaller version.
A dedicated camp to teach people to become instructors.
It's a smaller version of the South Africa trip. It's only at that time, it was only 5 weeks. And it was like 5 years of surf tuition in 5 weeks.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. So and then that's how you become qualified to...
Yeah. And I like to think I've always had that ability to make friends with people really easily. Mm-hmm. So being in Sri Lanka and meeting the coaches, became really good friends with David, became really good friends with Max, who not anymore because I'm now freelance, but ultimately became my boss. He is head of marketing. And Max said, come and coach for us in Perranporth in Newquay or in Cornwall. And then he gave me the contact for the manager of Ticket to Ride at the surf school in Cornwall.
Okay.
And then I basically moved all my stuff down and stopped playing music.
And you moved from?
Moved from Kinross in Scotland.
Right.
Yeah.
To Newquay for that?
Down to Newquay.
Okay. So then
and that was 2019.
Okay. Good year to move.
Yeah.
Change your entire fucking life. Maybe there was a time to just upset everything. Well, you might as well throw it all out at once.
Yeah.
So so you did that, and then you started working for Ticket to Ride. You were doing a bit of coaching, and then from what you told me, you picked up a bit of some camera, you started shooting some photographs. I think it feels like, again, with the surfing, it's the same thing as with the music, which is what I find so often when I talk to people who are coming up in this world. It's like, you've got this hobby, and you're shooting photographs. So you just liked shooting photos of surfers. Yeah. So at what point were you like, I can actually do this as a as a service for Ticket to Ride. You were working full time as an instructor.
Yeah, as a coach.
And then you just bolted on, hey, I can shoot photographs
Yeah.
while I'm here.
Yeah. So initially, I wrote them this huge proposal, like designed this whole proposal in their font, in their color scheme, to show them that I know what branding is and stuff like that. And in nicer words and elongated words, I said, your Instagram's shite. I can make it better, type thing. I'm getting better at how to do that with other new clients, and you're helping me with that quite a lot.
Yeah.
But so I wrote them this proposal to say, I can make your Instagram so much better. You've not done anything since before COVID. And they hadn't, which makes sense because they're an adventure company with a surf school. So they haven't had to they didn't really feel the need to jump on their Instagram because they weren't selling trips because no one could go abroad.
Yeah.
So 2020, maybe 2021, they said, why don't you take over our surf school Instagram? And if we start seeing a growth or we like what you're making, then we'll have a talk. Okay. So I ran their surf school Instagram for a whole season.
Now, here's the big question. Did you do that as just extra on top of coaching? So
I didn't get paid for it, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, that was the question.
I didn't get paid for it. I was still getting paid per lesson.
Yeah.
And then, well, actually I kind of technically got paid for it because when I wasn't coaching, I said, I'd love to shoot a lesson, but if you just pay me for the hour of a coaching lesson.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. So I technically got that.
Yeah. But you weren't, but I still put that down as you're effectively doing free work to get your...
Yeah. It was like 30 quid for 2 hours and then editing on top of that.
Yeah. Which is mad because so many people discuss the concept of should you work for free, should you not? And I think like people are like, you should at this point, you should. And there's nothing wrong with free work.
Yes, I know.
I think free, if you're getting the piss taken out of you, that's a different story. But if you're doing free work for the benefit of yourself, I think you should be doing free work when it's either something you want to help somebody or you want to be charitable, or if there's a benefit to your progress, if you can learn something. And in that side of it, you're like, well, I'm in the water. I want to shoot surf photography. The other way of doing this is to just go and try to find ways to get people to pay you. But it's better to just learn on your own buck, I guess.
Yeah.
So I think when you see people who are willing to do that, that always works for you so much better in the long run.
Yeah.
So you're shooting free photos for these guys.
Yeah. And my goal was to work for Ticket to Ride as their photographer who would go on their trips and capture all the content, and it would be on their website and it would be on YouTube, and because they did have quite a really good content bundle. And they had this guy called Gwyl, who's this Welsh photographer. He now lives in Mirabel, I think.
Okay.
He left Ticket to Ride to run this ski chalet.
Right.
But again, he was a big inspiration for me at the start because I was like, Gwyl has the job I want.
Right.
That's class. And then when he left...
You just fucking jumped in there.
And then,
I was just saying here, they go, would you steal his grave as quick?
And I've never met the guy. And we're doing this thing recently about Ticket to Ride turning 20 years old.
Okay.
Because they started in 2005. And I messaged Gwyl and I said, we're doing this thing. Do you mind making a video about your best memory? And then we just started chatting more. And this is again like us.
You could end up at his house.
Yeah, I'll go to Mirabel and just chill and you'll teach me how to ski.
Yeah, for a week. And he'd be like, I thought you would come for 3 days.
Yeah, but hearing someone that I looked up to for so long and loved his photos, and all of my work for Ticket to Ride is inspired by what he's done.
Yeah.
He goes, I love your work. I love what you're doing right now. And I'm like, really?
That's cool.
Yeah. And it's like a weird eye opener to be like, maybe I am actually better than I think.
But I think you are always going to be very critical.
Yeah.
What does your dad think of your surf photography? He thinks it's good, but he just hates the sport.
Dad, I don't think he can. It's kind of like watching something you don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
So he'll see a surf photo and go,
like those flying
crisp.
suits.
It's in
like
focus.
those flying suits. Like I have no idea how to like.
Yeah, is that a good photo of a flying suit?
Yeah, it's sharp.
Yeah,
guy looks like he's going fucking fast as.
Yeah. Whereas when I take pictures of cars, Dad goes,
nice wheels.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good because he loves
imagine
cars.
him next to just kicking a tire. Like, yep, solid car. That.
Looking at the badge real close.
Yeah, which is what you were doing in Belfast yesterday, just fucking around with this little like a blue Audi. Like I love it.
It was a VW.
Like, was it?
Yeah.
Same car.
But no, yeah. So that's where I'm at now. And then I worked for Ticket to Ride from 2021 to last October.
Okay.
And then I negotiated with them, rather than being salaried, let's switch it round to part-time.
Okay.
But I invoice you as a freelancer.
Right. Okay.
So for
like
them,
a contractor. Almost.
That's the one. Yeah. So I am contracted to them to provide content for their Instagram and their YouTube. And they've also got, well, they don't really have their surf school anymore. That's a long story, but they've got their main account and their surf house in Sri Lanka account.
Okay.
Which are technically two separate things that they want to push.
And you manage
ways.
both.
And I manage both.
Okay.
For a part-time salary, basically, but I have to invoice them.
So why did you decide? What was the thinking behind that? What did you make you go? You know what? Fuck it, I want to go.
So with the confidence I then grew, having worked with them for 3 years as their main photographer, and then my last stint in Sri Lanka, I kind of went semi-freelance where I sold packages to guests as well as getting content for Ticket to Ride.
Oh, so private things on the side.
So privately on the side. And I started making more money on the side than I was for Ticket to Ride.
Yeah.
And I thought, and this was my boss Max's idea. He was like, earn some extra money. And then I was like, oh, fuck.
trying to get shoddy.
Basically, yeah, you gotten rid of me. And the reason I didn't jump onto photography so quickly in Cornwall is that everyone and their mum is a photographer over there and a surf photographer.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So it's just like, how am I going to get into this group of people or stand out?
Yeah.
So I chose not to stand out and I chose just to work for someone.
Yeah.
But now I'm in that stage now where I went semi-freelance and thought I can earn more money doing this. So then I spoke to Max and I spoke to the directors of Ticket to Ride and they went, oh, we love that idea. Because they also love the idea of their staff leaving and doing something amazing after. And that's what's great about our 20-year thing is we're interviewing all of these former coaches, former whatever. And like, I'm wearing a hoodie of one now. Like he was the manager of our surf school and he then left and made his own surf school.
That's cool.
And it's now like a premium surf school. They don't do big groups. They only do little groups.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool though. It's a good, and it's funny because I remember the sort of thing takes me back to when you and I started talking. I think you were chatting about like going out freelance. And it was funny because he said to me, I have this dream of like what I want to do and like this cool idea working for myself. And I was like, just to be clear, your current job is you travel the world with a surf company, surfing in nice blue water in board shorts, shooting photographs of people, also doing that. And just like, that's your job. Yeah. And I'm like, and your dream job is to not do that as much and then do some freelance photography, like working for the coffee shop down the street. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, but that's a fucking great, that's a great job.
Yeah.
There's like, that would have been my dream back then. It's funny though, because people always see.
It's always greener.
Yeah. And it is. And it's like, if you can find real balance and real enjoyment in work you're doing, I think that when I said that to you, you were like, oh, that's actually quite, I didn't think about that.
Now that you're talking about it now, it's just come into my head is in Sri Lanka and in South Africa, my paycheck was really good.
Yeah.
When I'm not there and living in the UK, that's where I struggled.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the UK absolutely sucks.
Yeah. But I think that's what I was, when I was saying to you, I was like, keep that though, like keep it. And you, I think from what I gathered, you were like this point where you wanted to almost pivot completely, and like as if there's another way to do it, because I think we're brought up to think it's this or that.
Yeah.
Whereas like the way I've sort of built my business is a little bit of everything, like a little, because I find like the more avenues I have and more options I have, the more control I have, and the less my fluctuations in income and business they're not that high and low. I like people talk about, I mean, like you always talk about the ups and downs. We were with Jossie today and he's chatting about like, that like, you have a drought of stuff and it's just like this. You've either got loads on or nothing. And I've not really been like that because I've built my business a little differently so that it's kind of steady. So there will be little dips and and peaks, but they're not big enough to really upset my momentum. And I think when I was chatting to you, I was like, keep that, because that's a whole cool side of it where effectively you get paid to travel and surf and shoot photos. And then you just need to fill in the other side of it, which is, I guess, winter photography.
Yeah. And the hard truth was that this is my first winter not in Sri Lanka, back in the UK. And it's my first winter going fully freelance and realizing that Newquay and Cornwall in general is a ghost town in the winter. No one lives there.
Yeah.
Everyone just has a second home or an Airbnb.
And then is it that bad? Like, is it really hot?
It's not that bad.
Yeah.
But it's...
Well, I mean more from like a freelance creative point of view.
Yeah, because I would look at people like yourself and go, Dill's got contracts with restaurants or cafes And then you'll go to those and be like, we're actually making no money over the winter. Like we don't want to pay for photography or anything.
Yeah, we don't want to pay our electric bill here.
Yeah. And my sort of workaround was to try and talk about, well, it's winter now, but you'd want to promote stuff in the summer.
Yeah.
But they just don't have the budget right now.
Yeah.
They'll have the budget in May.
Yeah.
When they start having people turn up for Easter holidays and then half term and whatever. Yeah. But yeah, I've managed to walk around local businesses and I've found one or two. But it has been eye-opening.
Yeah, it is.
About how, there are people that obviously live in Newquay.
Yeah.
But you can really tell how many people don't live in Newquay.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And then come to summer, it'll just be fucking... The thing is, you could be sitting there working your ass off, and then come summer, then every photographer's there.
Yeah.
And you're like, where the fuck have you all been?
Yeah.
Probably they've all been in London.
Yeah, they've all been there. This is the other thing as well, is I didn't want to put myself in a hole by being from Newquay and working from Newquay. So I try to say on my website and on my Instagram and stuff is that I'm located in Newquay, but I'm UK wide.
Yeah.
Or even worldwide if you wanted, because obviously I've gone to South Africa and Sri Lanka. I could say Ruaridh Kidd worldwide.
The shit that people put on their LinkedIn, dude, you could put intergalactic photographer if you wanted. There's fucking people up there who just self-confessed creative directors of themselves. So you could absolutely do whatever. What's been the biggest change to you from what you anticipated working freelance would be like to what you actually think it is like now? Having done it for what are you 6 months into it? A year into it?
I think I'm 6 months. What was it? September. September was South Africa, basically. So I wasn't really freelance.
So since September, what are you like? Oh, fuck, this is a bit of a surprise that I didn't expect.
Accounting.
yeah. Okay.
Dealing with money. And the way that I've done it as well, we've chatted about why did you not just go as a freelance, as a sole trader?
Yeah.
And I created an LTD.
Yeah.
And now I'm sort
straight
of like,
out of the box.
Why have I
mixed
done this?
company? Yeah.
Because I think I just got advice for it, or I don't know. And other friends have done it.
Yeah.
But granted, they're not photographers; they are tradies.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. There are certain trades that are better to set up as of that.
Yeah.
But I think even just to understand, and I think the thing is like, it's better to do, I personally found it was better to do books and numbers yourself, like for the first few years, so you can really get an understanding. Because you can work out where your money comes from. Mm-hmm. Like, and I think what Rory and I started talking about surfing and gear and chatting a little bit about that. And then when he said he was going full-time freelance, he was like, asked me for a bit of advice. And I was looking into, I get quite a few people asking me for the people always say, how do you get work? Or how do you do this? And I'm like, there's so much to this. Like it's like a real, like I can't just give you a one sentence answer. There's a lot of working with, and every single person is slightly different. You sort of have to cater it. So I said to him, well, why don't we like work together on a rolling weekly, like contract connection thing where we talk about it? Because there's a few people who've asked me for stuff like this, and I quite like helping people with the business side of what they're doing, which I just think is a bit that surprised me. Because when I went out my own, I was like, oh, I'm going to design shit. And then it turned out, most of my job is actually the business side of everything, which is stupid because it's so fucking obvious. And one of the most eye-opening ones for me was when I worked in an ad agency. I was like art director in an ad agency. And before that, I managed a big like design and photography team in a brand side before. But in the agency was the most interesting because as an art director, you were directing a shoot, or you were designing stuff, or you were coming up with concepts. But then we had client service managers, and I fucking hated them. Not as people, they're great as people, but the concept of client service and like media people who like book media, they just drove me fucking berserk. Yeah. Because anytime I had an idea, I felt like they were like a stop gate for like anything cool I wanted to do. They were just there to just tell you no. Yeah. And I was like, we should, what if I, and I was like, fuck's sake, like give me the freedom to make the stuff. And because their entire job was, especially client service, was managing the client. Yeah. And I was like, if I could just fucking talk to the client and do this. So then every time I got around them and managed to talk directly to the client, it went easy breezy. I was like, this is sweet. They're just getting in the fucking way. Because that one time because I was like, that one time I got to the client was great. But what I underestimated was how much other shit they have to deal with as a job. So when I went full-time freelance, and then I would like meet a client, have a chat, come up with agreement, do the work, send the work, and think we're sweet. Yeah. And then they'd come back with questions or like little tweaks, or like then they would be like, oh, if you're trying to book a shoot in, it'll be this back and forth. There'll be this discussion around budget. I was like, this should be so simple. Dill, can you do this? Yes. What about then? Okay, see you then. Do it.
That's why
But then there's all this fucking stuff that happens around it. And then I remember messaging one of the girls who I used to work with, and go, it's been like a year of freelance, and I respect and understand the concept of what you guys actually did.
Yeah.
I was like, because fuck me, managing clients is so much of this job.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you've seen this week, even the amount of like just silly phone calls and things that I've picked up, like, and like chatting to people like I know them and building relationships. But that is the key. It's people management, time management, and when you're actually doing the work, light management. It's all of that, and all the other shit. Taking the photos, what camera you're using, all that stuff's like so far down the line. But everyone focuses on that.
The end result.
Yeah, they're all like, oh, what aperture should I? Never worry about that.
What camera you
need to fucking work. You need to manage their expectations. Like managing a client's expectations is key. So I think when I started talking to Rory, I was like, there's all these things that I've learned. Maybe I can help you. So I said to him, let's work. So we've kind of been doing like a trial test run at like the concept of a mentorship.
Yeah.
Or like a
I've been describing
creative
you as
coach.
one.
Creative coach.
I've been describing you. I was like, who's this Dill? Why are you going to Ireland? What's going on? And I was like, well, he's kind of become like a bit of a mentor, but unofficially.
Photo Gandhi.
Because we've never really spoken about, I've never said, you are my mentor. Like my Karate Kid, what's his name? Miyagi.
Yeah. I should have got to clean cars and shit. Yeah. I actually did say to Pamela, I was like, I should have found a way to get him to do like really
clean your van.
See how long it takes him to be like, this is fucking bullshit. I'm like, if you watch the fucking put this band on your head, you've now passed. I do actually have the Karate Kid band, so we could have done that.
Cool.
Cuts to scene.
Maybe we will. Yeah.
Tied on his head.
But that, I think that's what it's become now. Is there's a mentorship.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unofficially.
So, yeah.
Because I didn't think that's what it was until I actually started learning something. And then my go-to guy was you to ask questions for.
Yeah.
Because I knew that you would answer.
Yeah.
And you would also, but then you would answer, and like we've done today on this podcast, is go off on a weird tangent and talk about other things.
Very long phone call. What should I charge for this? 7 hours later.
Yeah.
Oh exactly. Yeah, just 100 quid will be fine.
Yeah. And then we spoke about it today, how abruptly you finish a phone call.
Yes. That is
a 2-hour conversation. Yeah. Okay, cool. You got it? Bye.
Bye. Bang. Hang up in the middle. Like all I hear is the amount of times I do this and I'm hitting end, and all I can hear is I'm like, that's that done? Speak to him next week.
Yeah.
And I've now lost concentration. But it's like, and the thing is, I like talking. I think I've discovered that about the two of us. We can talk. So we've managed to fill a week of just two of us talking at each other, which has been hilarious. It's just like, and it'll be like, it's almost like just tag teaming each other in. But I like that because I like sharing. I've always been a believer in sharing knowledge. It's always fucked me off that there's like these little gatekeepers of information and people who don't want to share stuff and talk about it. And no one wants to talk about like what they charge or and like, I fucking hate that.
Yeah.
Because I think the problem is people too often compete on budget, like what they charge, where we should all be competing on our style and ability. Yeah. And like sometimes it might be someone who's a better photographer. Like I don't claim to be an amazing photographer, but I claim to be very good at understanding what a business needs, what a brand needs. And that's because of my design background. Yeah. So I got into photo through design. So I always look at stuff through designing a brand or a logo or like coming up with a brand story. And like I like writing stuff and coming up with, like I actually prefer creative theory more than creative execution. So it's funny because I would have, for years, I would have come up with a load of ideas, and I always would have felt like my design was kind of okay.
Yeah.
Like I can get away with it. Yeah, exactly. Passable design. And my brother and I always laugh because we always joke about ourselves in general as like 80% people, like 80% good at most things. But ideas, man, I can come up with ideas. I mean, really well.
We just spent the last hour with Jossie.
Yeah.
Spitballing. A bunch of ideas that he could do.
Yeah. Free ideas.
Free ideas, yeah.
And it's like, I love that side of it. And I think what really interested me about social media and like what I love about creating content these days and for social media is also what I hate about it. Yeah. I love that I can create ideas that would have taken big teams to do years ago. I can make those ideas pretty quick. But the other problem is other people can also contribute to the internet as quickly. Yeah. And the majority of people contributing to the internet, and what I mean by contributing to the internet is content creators in general, for the most part. And I'm not just talking about photography world. I'm talking about like, if you look at everyone in the world that's a content creator is the new influencer. It's for people who don't want to call themselves influencers. They go, I'm a content creator. And the majority of them are just polluting the internet with dog shit. Like I'm just like, there's no, of all the gatekeepers we have in everything we do in the world, why isn't there some like like just test, like just some basic test to be like, should you be allowed internet access?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like you should have to pass a test to be like, you can use the internet, but you can't contribute to the internet.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to post a comment, you need to pass these psychological tests of, are you a complete idiot or not? And you absolutely cannot post it. And you cannot, like,
but then the internet would not be funny.
It wouldn't. Yes, it wouldn't. But it also wouldn't be polluted with TikTok Shop.
Oh, also that, yeah.
You know, so
which my dad loves.
Does he just
maybe not TikTok Shop, but Instagram
Shop. Yeah. But I think like it's like, I mean, one of the worst things that has happened to advertising and social UGC content.
What's that?
I fucking hate UGC content, and I don't like the way that small independent, I use the term agencies very loosely, promote UGC content, so user generated content. So user generated content is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's user generated. It should be
do that all the time.
authentic and real.
Yeah.
User generated is if I go, you know, fucking these mugs are great, and I make a video about how great these mugs are because I bought them as a user and I made some content on how good they are.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes a brand wants to sponsor someone who does that. So like if you always use these mugs and you always do that stuff and a brand wants to involve, he's thinking these fucking mugs are actually fairly good. So if you'd like to buy them, you can use my code MUG10. All right?
You've taken the sticker off, so I have no idea where they're from.
Yeah, Sainsbury's. Support local.
Habitat.
yeah, exactly. So the thing with it is like, and then we got to this weird world where like influencers arrived and started doing stuff for brands. And then the next thing we had was people being paid to do stuff by brands. And then it was like, oh, we'll gift these things to influencers. And like, there's a lot of people have issues around the ad rules, you know, like hashtag ad, hashtag sponsor.
Yeah.
I hate that hashtag ad stuff. Like, I don't actually give a fuck if someone puts it on or not. I think the problem isn't that people should or shouldn't put the word ad on an ad. I think the people should be better at what they're doing. So I think what we've done is go, there's a problem where there's some useless people making crap content about shit products.
Yeah.
So what we should do is tell them, make sure they tell people it's an ad, or just have a better system for how we fucking
But is that also not like
these people.
like an Instagram policy thing that you have to say it's an ad if you're trying?
Yes, no, it is. It is a policy for them. That's because shit people make crap content.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
You know, like that's effectively the problem. Conning people into buying something that they've been given for free or they've been paid to do.
This is my issue. It's not really an issue, but this is my opinion on influencers.
Breaking news, by the way, down the bottom here. Rory has opinion on influencers.
My opinion. Hot take. They're called influencers because they're, I guess, made to influence you into purchasing said thing.
Yeah.
And I am a sucker for marketing. I will buy anything in Lidl.
Yeah.
If it says going soon. And I'm like, whoa.
I need a chainsaw.
You know, yeah. yeah. But when you look at an influencer and they've stayed in a really bougie cabin or a hotel.
Yeah.
And then you forget that they've been given that for free. They've been given this entire experience for free. And then I'll go and look at that. I'll go, well, where have they stayed? Oh, it's £1,000 a night.
yeah.
Who
and
are
they normally live in a bin.
Yeah. yeah. But like, who is that influencing to buy? Because if I follow them already, am I their target market? But then I look at that and go, I can't afford that.
Yeah.
Why would I do that £1,000 a night? So what is the return on investment of an influencer these days? And is it actually...
And in that situation, there's two
beneficial?
people. It's obviously there's two people at fault. There's the brand or the business,
Yeah.
and there's the influencer, because no one has done their goddamn research. Because and I know this, by the way. You might go, "Fuck's he saying that for?" I know this
just our opinions.
because I get these fucking requests not constantly. Let's not make it out like I'm a fucking superstar,
Mr. Big Balls
right?
over here.
And I mean, like, I'm on the lower tier. But like, I had my time in the sun, right? When I used to get a lot of shit because I would have been an OG content creator influencer in Northern Ireland before.
You had the Joby grip and the
before it was now we're talking vloggers, and that's a whole different kettle of fish. I mean, but I actually wrote an article for a business magazine in Belfast in like 2018 that was titled "The Rise of the Influencer Marketing." So I was there from the other side, from the agency side, hiring influencers. The problem is, as it's gone on, is like people have stopped working out whether it's a good fit. So I still get weird shit every now and then. Hey, Dylan, would you like these candles? We'd love to. We think your audience would love them. I'm like, no thanks.
Yeah,
like not interested.
But then are those real people? Because I don't have a big following.
I get
but
them
I'll
from,
get
like,
an
brands
Instagram message saying we love your aura, or we love the presence you have on Instagram, and we think that you'd really appreciate these sunglasses. And I'm like, absolutely I know what you mean.
That's a
robot.
Like bot shit. Yeah. No, I get those as well. But I mean like legitimate companies in Northern Ireland who will message me like personally, or they'll email me personally, and it's not a bulk email I've sent out. They'll like ask me something, or I'll chat. I mean, Liquid Death for a prime example, right? So, Liquid Death gave me hashtag sponsored. Liquid Death gave me 3 cans of Liquid Death to drink.
It's the choice of a new generation.
Yeah. If you'd like to be this cool, drink water from a can, right? So I got an email from a girl here who does the PR from Ireland for Liquid Death, and she was like, "Hey, Dill, really like your stuff, like your style of your videos. I think you'd pair up pretty well with the Liquid Death brand. Do you want some?" And I was like, "What do you want for it?" And she was like, "Nothing. Just want to send you some Liquid Death to see what you think." So they sent me like far too many cans of Liquid Death, like way too many. I mean, they're still there.
You still have some,
yeah. I mean, there's loads. They sent me like loads of boxes of Liquid Death. So like, but I liked the brand side of Liquid Death. So as a designer, I liked how they designed it. I liked why they built that, like why they created this, and I love the way they do stuff.
Because it's like a tattoo shop meets a beer brand.
It was rock metal guys that wanted to drink stuff that looked like beer, but they didn't want to drink alcohol at a gig, so they got that shit. So they look cool as fuck, but they're just drinking water.
Because you don't want to be drunk on stage after the gig.
No, but I mean just watching. They were just there watching. You want to go to a gig and drink water, but still look cool, Liquid Death.
And it's the way that they're like wording.
Yeah. Like if you actually go on their site and read shit about all this, it's actually a very interesting brand. So I find the brand interesting. And we couldn't get Liquid Death here at that time. So then when they said, I was like, I'll take some, sent me a bunch of those. And since then, I've been able to pair them up with a couple of other different people, like clients who I felt are quite relevant to what they do.
Yeah.
But like they didn't ask for anything. And when I did a video saying that Liquid Death gave me loads of free shit. Now, I just go on and say that. The problem is people try to con people. Like I'm not trying to con anybody. And I sort of took the piss out of the fact that it's canned water, because it is just fucking water in a can.
Yeah.
With a bit of mango flavoring in it, and it's like, oh, mango chainsaw. There's no chainsaw in that can. No. There is in Lidl, middle aisle.
Chainsaw could be the bubbles. Because some people think sparkling water is quite sharp.
I don't know. I think I say chainsawing. That is one of the very rare things that I've said yes to.
Yeah.
Because it makes sense. And I'll have people say like, "Hey, we're opening this restaurant. Do you want to come down for a day?" And I'm like, nah, I'm not really interested in that.
Have a free meal.
Yeah. And now, early days, I quite liked it because there was a bunch of us, we all worked in Belfast. And I used to go to these, like, say a restaurant had an opening. I would go there and I'd make something kind of interesting. So prime example of fucking influencer bullshit that I do was there's a tree company here called Finnegan's, and they're a farm and they make Christmas trees. And I just chat to them back and forth. And then they're like, "Do you want a tree?" Now, the amount of work that goes into this video for a tree, I'm like, "Yeah, just give me the tree." They're like, "Do you want anything else for it?" I'm like, "You know what? Just hook me up with a tree," because getting a tree for me seems like a lot of hassle. So they just deliver it to my house. But I like making content about those. So I make that in an interesting way that is very clear that they've given me a tree for free. Yeah. And also I like creating something from that. So I feel like they're looking at me going, "That's a guy with a family who wants a Christmas tree." And I'm like, "That's a company from Northern Ireland who grow trees and will deliver them to your house." That all works for me.
No needles in the car.
So I'm very clear. Exactly. Yeah. And that's exactly it. So one time I tied it to the roof of the car and I lost half the needles on the way back. So, but I think when I do that, I feel like I put a bit of effort into the video that I do, and it's kind of entertaining and fairly interesting. And there's an enjoyment for a consumer, and they're not just watching an advert. I'm very clear about what I'm doing, but I'm giving them something that's enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
And I think it's a little bit like, I don't know, this sounds really big-headed, but you know Ryan Reynolds movies?
Yes.
Right. Do you know the way he product places stuff in it? Like he gets Red Bull to sponsor one of his movies, or he's like aviation gin. I'm not saying it's the same sort of stuff.
Mobile.
But yes, exactly. Yeah. But you know the way there's like thought going into it.
Yeah.
Now I think about my things in the same direction because I come from advertising. But so many people now in this whole world have come at it from like no advertising background, and they've just come at it from like soulless influencer marketing. So they'll just literally sell you any old shit for money.
Yeah.
No one has any fucking integrity.
So rather than it being like an interesting video of you putting an acorn into a thing and adding water, this is just add water, and then the tree pops up. They're going, hey, I'm just going to Finnegan's to go get a tree.
Yes, exactly.
They've given me a tree for free.
Yeah, the most literal video you can think of. I mean, I get it. Like sometimes it's good, and I think people do benefit from it, and it is quite nice to work with things like that. The problem is there's just too much of it, and there's too many. And a good example is like we've got a lot of food bloggers, I guess we call them on Instagram here, who are like, if you're looking for a cheese toastie, you need to try this shop on this road. It's amazing. Their cheese is really melty. And then whatever, right? And I'm just thinking of these people being like, okay, cool, like whatever. Like I'm cool with the content, but like what's the plan? What's the goal?
Yeah.
Because the video is dog dirt.
Yeah.
Like all you've done is tell me the factual information of a cheese toastie.
Show me the cheese.
Yeah, it's a cheese toastie. It comes in bread. You can get tomato in it. There is butter on it. It comes on a plate. You can eat it. And I'm like, that's all factual stuff about a cheese toastie.
Yeah.
Like there's no creativity. There's no originality.
Show us
any
it being
of this
made.
shit. Do anything. Yeah. Anything more. Don't make it about the cheese toastie. Get the cheese toastie and then go on a fucking adventure where you lose a shoe. Make something more interesting. But you don't. It's just, I'm here at this cheese toastie place.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of that. And I've talked to a few people before and asked them, and they're like, oh, I just want to make... Their goal always seems to be like, I just want to be famous for making food content, but no one really wants to put any effort into it. And I don't blame them because most people have no background in creativity. Fuck, we went on a rant there.
We did, yeah.
Jesus, hot take. That might have to be its own episode. If you'd like to download this file.
Yeah. I think that's where, because I've come from a creative background, but with musical stuff. Mm-hmm. And there was a thing you mentioned way
7 years ago when this podcast started.
About doing what's right for the client as well on some jobs. And as a drummer, I would look at other drummers and go, they're so much better than me, or they're so much more flamboyant than me, and they'll try different things and they'll always be filling and they'll doing little solos and stuff. Whereas a good drummer is someone that does what the song needs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't go off on a tangent and start going off beat and syncopation and stuff.
Yeah.
Because then people are like, oh, what's going on?
Yeah.
The song wants to do this, so just do what the song wants to do to a degree. You can be creative in there. Yeah. But that's kind of where I have that mindset of photography as well, is I want to know what the client wants and what the client is expecting, like you said.
Yeah. This all came from client expectations.
Client expectations.
Jesus,
that's what this rant was about.
Almighty. Oh
yeah. And that's kind of my bag. Yeah. So the way I look at that is going, oh, right. Okay. So like the song only needed this. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Because then ultimately, that's why people say a drummer makes a band.
Yeah.
Because the drummer's shite.
I think only drummers say that.
I think so. Drummers don't.
I think the front man is the guy that makes them.
Drummers don't make the songs, although Neil Peart does from Rush.
Okay.
That's a really nerdy drummer thing. But a good drummer will make a band sound amazing because they won't veer off and make it weird.
About them.
Make it about them. Make it about the song. And then, the front man can be all Mick Jagger and weird.
Swinging a mic around his neck.
Yeah. What is that? Taking Back Sunday?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. It. What's his name?
I can't remember. But I do remember reading a story where he like hit his guitarist in the face and knocked him out.
No way, with a mic.
He like wraps around his neck and then comes back around. And you're like,
holy shit.
Yeah.
I actually went to see them play down in Dublin somewhere. Big event in Dublin. They were supported by Fight Star.
Wow. Charlie Simpson.
And Charlie Simpson was standing at the front, and then he was just about to like set fire to the guitar, and someone just fucking threw an apple at him. It hit him square in the head. I mean, like, it was an amazing throw. I had so much respect for the throw.
Did it smush?
It just hit him and like kind of exploded into bits. Yeah. And he didn't even budge. He was like, and he just carried on. I was like, fair play, right?
Yeah, professional.
Just like fucking, it must have such a sore head.
Because that would have been tough for him to go from busted to like a sort of grungy metal band.
Yeah.
And everyone's just like, fuck you.
Yeah, get off
Stop
here.
trying to be cool. Yeah.
Like an apple right in the head. There's 2 times I've seen that actually. I saw a guy throw an ice cube at the guitarist from Billy Talent. You know, the guy with the big wedge haircut?
Yeah.
Like he was just, and someone just threw an ice cube and he's like, and he looked around and then just carried on playing.
That's
again.
amazing.
Both in Dublin actually.
When the Foo Fighters first started out in the 90s, they had a song called Big Me. Okay. Do you know the song? But their music video was a piss take of a Mentos advert. Okay. You know those candy?
Yeah, yeah.
But it said Futos.
Oh, and they were like, okay. Actually, I think I have seen that.
You probably have
seen that. Yeah. No,
but for years after that video came out, people just throw Mentos on stage, and it's hard candy.
Yeah.
So there's like an interview with Dave.
It needs to be a lot, but if you were throwing it hard,
There's an interview with Dave Grohl just being like, please stop throwing the Mentos. They're really hard. I love fans. They're great.
You know who you guys are throwing this at the Foo Fighters?
Yeah.
Christopher Walken's going, the Foo
Fighters.
Yeah. That massive rant aside, I guess that's what we started talking about, was that business side of it. Because I just feel like there's a lot more to it than just shooting photographs and making videos. And I think the creative side is you've got to get creative management, and then you've got to get like business management together to supply a service. Yeah. I think that's what so many people miss out on, and it's the one that I like helping people do. And I think when I started out, I got like the majority of, I'm not saying the majority, there's a lot of people that don't want to share stuff, but I had a few people when I was getting into it, and when I was younger especially, who were just helpful people. And I just needed to meet like a couple of helpful people, and I was like, those people made such a difference to me. And I've talked about them before, but White Cloud Photographic here helped me a lot. Early days with budgeting and stuff. And my buddy Ryan helped me, and a friend Donal, and it's become friends, and there's a lot of like back and forth. So I think it's really key for people to talk in the industry to each other, because otherwise you're going in blind, and then your only option is, well, I'll fucking just have to undercut everybody. Yeah. And then everyone gets annoyed, and all we do is just pull the industry down and run it into the ground. Yeah. So I think it's better, because then you can start to say like, well, if you don't feel like you can charge what other people do, you maybe have to deliver something different. So I think you start dealing with experience and like creative license. So I prefer people to pick somebody based on the style they do, rather than who's the cheapest. Yeah. Which is the conversation I hate having. Yeah. What's your budget? Or they'll say to me like, what do you charge?
What's your day rate?
What's your day rate? And I'm like, oh my God. Here it is, but what's your budget? And then like, and if you ask them back, what's your budget? Then there's just this back and forth. Day rate, budget, day rate, budget.
Like, well, your budget's fine.
Yeah. Blows my fucking mind. So how have you enjoyed? So first of all, the shit that we've been having, has it been helpful, like talking to you?
Absolutely. The main takeaway from this whole week hanging out and just chatting is self-marketing, which again is kind of like influencing yourself. Yeah. And it's like the way you do it is through your stories on Instagram. And that's kind of what I'm going to probably adopt into my own thing. But that's been the biggest thing, is self-marketing, which I don't really do until I'm actually on the job, and I'll just sort of take one photo and go
BTS.
Or or upload a photo that's edited and sent to the client and then said, worked with X.
Photos for this brand.
Yeah,
I do that
video
as well.
coming soon.
Yeah.
You know? But now I'm more aware of like what can be entertaining for someone to watch, rather than be a story where they go, cool. And then also that everything is smoke and mirrors, and everyone is lying, and everyone is making it out to be that they are more busy than they actually are.
Yeah, there is a lot of that going on.
And I've been on a shoot with this, and I've been on the shoot with this, and it seems like your week has been so full, but that was probably couple weeks ago.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that do that. Yeah, will like hold stuff up, and like they'll post things from like one shoot like multiple times. Like it's okay, you're advertising yourself. I think I wouldn't say necessarily like stories worked really well for me early days. I mean, I would say you can need to pick a social media platform. I think you need to do a few of them. You need to do them differently. Like people in our industry now, I would be like, LinkedIn is a powerful place for what you're doing.
Everyone's using that now.
And like, using reels and using threads and all those bits in their own particular way. But I think the most key thing is like, we are really bad in our industry for either showing nothing or showing like the most boring version of what we're doing. So you shoot photographs, you just like I do it as well. I'm guilty of it. I just share the client's work. Yeah. And it is nice to do that, because sometimes people want to see it, and it's almost like a little bit of a confirmation that he does actually know what he's doing. He does know what buttons to push on that camera. So there's a little bit of like that. But I think when you're shooting stuff if you're a creative person, I understand it. There's also people out there that maybe you're just more functional and practical. But if you are a creative person, you should be constantly making your own stuff in some format as practice for either a technique, how to use your camera, new ways to do stuff, ways to light stuff, or even just new ways to look at stuff and shoot stuff. I mean, we were joking walking around. I kept saying, Rory, you need to like look through your fist. I mean, I was hoping he was just going to start doing it and look like a complete tit. Yeah. But there is like a really important side to that. It's understanding how a frame works and like how to ignore unnecessary information in a frame, because you see the whole world and that's too overwhelming. So when you lock it into a certain area, but you don't do that without practicing. And we're all happy to practice sport. We're all happy to practice music and drawing. But when it comes to our profession, loads of people just forget they need to do it. So if you are going to create content, a behind the scenes shoot, like it doesn't just need to be, this is behind the scenes of my shoot and then some behind the scenes stuff. You can do something totally relevant.
Yeah.
You can do something creative with that. I did a video, well, I think I showed you, whereas like it was a behind the scenes on a shoot, but all it was talking about was my squeaky shoe. And it was like, well, it wasn't an over the top video to make, but it was just loads of relentless shots of my shoe squeaking every time I took a step while trying to film in a conference. And like that for me is more funny than filming the conference. So people are like, oh, I see you're filming the conference. How did you get around it on that shoe? So it's like, it's just trying to find like creative ways of doing stuff, because the more you do that and the more you try new stuff, the more you open your mind up to possibilities with other things. Because when you go to a client meeting, they're like, your job is to point the camera and capture things, but you also have to deliver them something interesting, something different. And I think if people aren't continuously learning that and practicing those things and trying new stuff, where are you gonna, what are you gonna give to the client? Like, what are you gonna, which is like why I have a whole episode of this coming about AI. Which I have a pretty interesting thing. I just need to jot that shit down.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of what's key. So your takeaway, what do you think is like, what's next for you in part of the freelance world?
What is next for me in the freelance world? That's a heavy question. I said to myself that 2025 was the year to gain more clients. Mm-hmm. And so far, even during the winter in Newquay, I've gained a few, which is great. And I got a message today, which was really nice to receive. But I think I want to start marketing myself better and more often. And also I'm open to doing free things more if it benefits me in the long run. Yeah. And create relationships more with clients rather than just trying to get work. Yeah. And that's with the gym that I'm working with right now. I offered him a free shoot. I said, let me do this thing for free. Yeah. And if you like it, then we can talk about stuff. Yeah. But it was also about getting to know him and hanging out with him. And now we meet for coffee and talk about what we're going to do next month, which is really great. And I love hanging out with him, and he's a really cool guy. And he also offered, instead of payment, he offered like a gym membership. Yeah. And then I said to him, at this moment in time with my business, I need to make money. Yeah. I need to pay bills for one. And I was really nervous about sending that to him, because it was like, here's this free shoot in my head, because I want to get to know you and I want to work for your brand. Yeah. Well, but also money. I want you to be a client eventually. My money. And for him to offer that, I was like, that's class, because a gym membership is a lot of money nowadays. Yeah. And with fitness and everything nowadays on Instagram and on social media, it's everything. Yeah. Everyone's talking about staying fit and eating healthily and whatever. So if I see another fucking person pour a bowl of Smarties onto a table and go, this many Smarties is this much in potatoes. Yeah. Like, fucking. Or your man, Casey, what's his face? Oh, yeah. Ireland. He's good, though. I mean, like, he's a good example of someone who's doing the right thing, and then everybody else is fucking copying him. Yeah. And you're like, Jesus, Sean Casey. Sean Casey, that's him. But for me to sort of suck it up and be, no, I actually need to get paid. Yeah. And his response was really nice, because he said, I respect that. He was like, I really get it, because he has just opened this gym himself. I get it. I totally respect it. Like, what are we talking about? And then we had a discussion about day rates, retainer packages, reels, website stuff. Yeah. And now it's fine. And now we both expect that I will be paid and I will give him content and high quality stuff. Yeah. Rather than he does a lot of stuff from his phone. Yeah. And he's got his other coach doing it as well. But all they need to do, just grab my phone. Be a little better. All they need to do, if you're ever wanting to do stuff on your phone, is do this.
Oh yes. Oh my God.
Just rub
Yeah.
rub the lens and then film.
Yeah. It's like people have had their phone up their ass the entire day and they just whipped it straight out and started recording.
Greasy fingers.
Yeah. And they're like, I've got an old iPhone. You're like, no, you don't. You've just got spit all over your lens, or like a fingerprint, or like some of a sausage roll stuck inside the fucking lens. Yeah. I see that so often. I see a lot of that with YouTube, with like spots on sensors and shit, people doing things. No, I think that's cool. I think for me, like, that's what we're talking about. Relationship building with clients is so key, like, isn't it?
That's the biggest thing.
I work with people I like working with, and I like to build a relationship with them. And I think it was, what did you said to me the other day, and I laughed. I think I answered a phone call to someone, or I like dictated a message to a client, and you laughed, and you were like, was that a client? And you were like, is that how you talk to a client or something? It was like, we're driving somewhere, like dictated a message, but it was like super casual.
Oh yeah.
And I think you picked up on it, and I laughed, and I was like, yeah, like all the time. Like it was just casual. It wasn't like.
But also the fact that dictating a message was wild to me, because I've never really done that.
And also when I do it, it's robotic. It's like this: hello, Stephen, comma.
Yeah.
What are you doing tomorrow?
Stop.
Question mark. New line. New line. I was thinking about that shoot we had talked about, comma.
Because all we've ever done is either text or voice message.
Yeah.
So hearing you now, I'm like, did he text me that, or did
you know what's worse? Sometimes I send a voice message and I forget it's a voice message, and I do it like, so you get a voice message going, hello, Rory, comma. What are you doing today? And then I actually say the words. I'm like, oh fuck, it's a voice message. I didn't need to do this. God damn it.
Start again.
God damn it. Yeah, I found like, because I drive a lot, I find it's easier to dictate, or if I'm like working and doing stuff or walking. And actually, I don't know if this is just an age versus technology issue, or if, I mean, you can answer this in the comment section below. Like, I think the technology doesn't really work properly. So like I want to write shit, and it's constantly like doing other stuff. Like I'm like writing stuff, and it's like the amount of times I go to write like everyone, and it writes hard return re-one, like REEONE. That's two different words, hard return full stop. And I'm like, I mean, I've never wanted to write
when
that.
You're dictating.
No, I'm typing.
You're typing.
So I feel like either my fingers no longer work, or maybe I've got to that age where me and technology are no longer in alignment.
Yeah.
You know when you're like, when like you watch your parents use a remote, and you're like, what are they doing? Like, and they're like this.
Yeah. Do you know, I found myself actually, I think I pointed that out to you when I was doing it. You have your phone in your hand and you use your thumb.
Yeah.
All the time. But your parents do this. And they have to go really far away so their glasses work and stuff. Yeah. But then I found myself the other day, I think when we were in Belfast, and I was like using an index finger on my phone going,
flicking through.
It's like, fuck, no, I'm only 30. Like,
I don't think I
should still be using my thumb.
But I do that thing that you laughed at me for doing the other day in the car, where I'm typing like this. Like you like look up and give it a wee think. You're right.
Your two front teeth come out, and you're like,
what am I doing here? Like I do a lot of
such
stuff
a
like
nerd
that.
thing to do.
And I do find like, I feel like I'm constantly in a battle against autocorrect. I feel like half my life. I spend far too much of my life. I used to say I waste my life at red traffic lights.
Yeah.
But now I waste my life correcting autocorrect.
Yeah.
Trying to reload like Instagram, and what is the other thing? So there's a few little pieces like that, but autocorrect constantly fucking does stuff. Oh, and then like trying to find the correct emoji or GIF.
Oh yeah,
like far too long. My wife's pretty quick at GIFs. She's like she prides herself in sending a GIF like that. Where I'm like, when do I get to the GIF bit here?
Yeah,
and then I'm like,
and I have a certain GIF in mind. Yeah, and then I search for what I have in mind, and then it's not there. So then I search more specifically what I had in mind, and it's not there. And I'm like, it's been too long now. I'm not going to send a GIF.
Yeah, I actually sometimes will go to Photoshop and just make the GIF myself. I'm saying
way
GIF.
too much
I'm saying
effort.
GIF. I'm actually just talking about a meme, and then I'm like, which is effectively any image with
text,
like, impact, font in
this
white
is
and black.
fine. Yeah, we're okay.
Yeah, and then I just send it, and I'm like, at 5. That was like 5 minutes ago, bro. What have you been doing? I had to make that meme because I couldn't find it on WhatsApp. I'm so bad for that shit.
The one thing I'm struggling with on my phone is not predictive text, but like nowadays with iPhones, maybe it is predictive. Like
this is the thing.
They basically go, do you mean, like they're assuming what the rest of it's going to say.
Yeah.
And then I see it because I'm texting slowly at the time or whatever. And I go, oh, that is what I want to say. So I'll click on it and it'll delete everything. And I'm like, no, I wanted that. Yeah. But I think you have to click space.
Yeah. Which makes no fucking sense in the moment. Because I do the same and click.
Because I'm halfway through a word. Yeah. And then it gives you a sentence. Yeah. You're like, that's exactly what I want to say.
Yeah. You know, times I type a long message and I just hit hold copy just in case that happens when I've got it right and carry on. That does it to me. Like, and do you know what word I always want to write? Hell. And you know what word I never want to write? Heel.
Heel.
Like HE''L.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the heel?
What the
People
heel?
are constantly like, what the heel are you talking about? And they're like, what the fuck? I've never wanted to write that.
Yeah.
Just put the word hell. And then I try to write heel. No, then it wants to write hell. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
I feel like it knows.
Yeah. I think it does. And I honestly think like I'm a bit like tech illiterate at times. I mean, I'm definitely magnetic with tech. So there's a lot of that sort of stuff where I try to use things. I'm like, oh, that was the other thing, Bluetooth. I spend far too much of my life waiting for Bluetooth.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, there's things where I'm like, we're all talking about all this tech and like, oh, AI is going to do all this shit. And I'm like, tell you what, before we fly to the moon or do whatever or have self-driving cars, here's some things I need to work. Bluetooth needs to just connect and never have it be a problem. And it needs to know that if I'm, using Bluetooth headphones on my phone and I'm having a phone call, when I open my laptop, just stay on the phone while I'm having a phone call. Don't switch to my laptop or don't like switch randomly to my car when I'm not in my fucking car and someone else has turned, my wife turns the car on.
Yeah.
And the other thing is cell networks. I
think this is more of an Irish thing.
I feel like they've just given up with cell. No, because Ryan lives in London and he has the same problem. Oh. It's like they've given up on like cell phone and stuff. So like if in Belfast, if you're in Belfast and you're on the phone, and I do this because I drive a lot with headphone things, I'm on a phone call, and I'll be driving out of Belfast and I'll be on a phone call and it'll be connected to the cell towers in Belfast.
Yeah.
And then I drive out of Belfast and like I'm on a dual carriageway through a city in a very, very built up area past an airport. There's no reason for it to drop, but it needs to jump from like one cell tower to the other. And can it do it successfully? Fuck no. It's like shits its pants. And I'm like, oh fuck, here we go. Signal drops, cuts out, and then you have to fucking ring them back. And I'm like, why can't AI solve this?
Yeah.
Like, I don't need you to be able to fucking change someone's t-shirt color like in an instant. I need you to keep my phone call going. Yeah.
Why rather than having cell towers, we just have like a Skynet?
Well, that's next, isn't it, with Apple? Isn't that the next thing with Apple?
Thing in space.
Oh, so space exists.
And the thing in space exists. Because what's his face? Elon.
Yeah.
He's got not Skynet. What's he called it?
That's it, isn't it?
Sky
something net.
Something.
Space net.
Skynet's
Xnet.
the Terminator.
Yeah, Skynet. It is. What is it? It is something like that.
Comment below.
Yeah. Just do this. We'll just put the sound in, whatever it is. Skynet.
Skynet.
But he did.
But he's put Skynet, which is Wi-Fi. And it's Wi-Fi wherever you are, as long as you subscribe to it.
Okay.
And then you can just go, I want to
Because there's something coming to iPhone in the next update or the next model or something that's like something to do with his satellites.
But then is that Apple Wi-Fi.
That's satellites, by the way, around the Earth.
Going around the Earth. The world is round to you.
Just around, yeah. Just flat Earth satellites everywhere. Or like fucking inside Earth. What's the other one? Like Hollow Earth.
Hollow Earth, yeah.
I'm not going to get into
We're not getting into it.
But yeah, there is something along the lines. I don't know. I just feel like I use tech sometimes. I'm like, am I too old for tech now? I think I got to like 30.
I don't think we're too old. I think it's just weird. I think, what is it they say? You're a sponge until you're like 27. And then that's when like fear kicks in. And then you're really aware of like death.
Yeah.
And like when we were young, you BMX'd, I skated a lot. And you would just, I'm going down this bowl. Or like a vert wall was like exciting to us.
Yeah.
And now, and then when you turn 27, you're like, I could crack my skull open.
Yeah.
So
true.
I think that's also that time in your life where you slowly pick things up again after 27.
Yeah.
So technology isn't developing quicker. We're just struggling to keep up, I think.
I think it's a combination of both.
Or it's a combination of both.
Yeah, I think it's too quick and we can't keep up.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and my kids are like...
You follow a child, like a 4-year-old, give them an iPad or whatever, and they're like, where's this thing?
Yeah, super quick.
Yeah.
And then they make jokes and shit. Like, my kids laugh at me for the things that I write in, like, WhatsApp messages.
Did you tell me, was it you that told me that your kid managed to figure out how to animate on Procreate?
Yeah, she's amazing at it.
And you're like, I didn't even know you could animate on Procreate.
She was showing me stuff the other day, and I was like, I mean, I understand what you've done, but I don't understand how you've done this on an iPad.
Yeah.
She actually messaged me yesterday, and she writes, this is my daughter, by the way, and she writes, she was a wee dick in the morning before she went to school, so I said to her, you can't be on screens when you come back. And I said to Pamela, I'm not going to be here. Make sure you stand by that. And then she obviously went to her mom and she apologized. Did something nice. And the mom was like, you have to ask your dad. So I get this message yesterday. Can I go on screens? And then I've got options, like a fucking poll. She sent me a poll. And these are requests. Yes, you can. Of course you can. Obviously you can. definitely, and then something in Japanese. And like, there's no
Something
option
in Japanese?
Yeah, like there's no option. I don't know. I'm assuming it maybe needs.
And you picked the Japanese one. That is kanji writing, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I assume it means yes. No option to say no.
And then she was like, "Cool, thanks."
Yeah. She writes like little abbreviations, stuff like I write. I say 11.
11.
And I would write lol, and she would like laugh at me for writing lol. Like, that's old. To write lol.
Saying lol is old. Lol. But then also I say that now because I think it's ironic.
No, but I mean writing it. LOL.
Yeah, LOL.
Lol. That's another one that's
or
hilarious.
You say lol.
That's hilarious in a dictation because you have to write it. I can't believe it happened last night. Lol. And then it's like LOL. It writes it. It's fucking retarded.
Love it.
Anyway, so that's cool. Well, I suppose before we close this out, have you enjoyed your first ever trip to Northern Ireland?
It's been really, really good, actually. I've finally had my first Guinness, first proper Guinness.
Where did you have your first proper Guinness?
I had my first proper Guinness in the Premier Inn.
Fucking Premier Inn.
The Premier Inn pub. But when I did that, I didn't know we were going to a pub.
Yes. And to be fair, it's a good Premier Inn Guinness, like, as far as they go.
I thought it was much better than any Guinness I've had ever on the mainland of the UK.
There you go, see?
And I posted that picture and went, when in Ireland?
Yeah.
Lol.
Yeah.
And then you went, class, let's go to a pub.
Yeah.
Because I think you were probably just like refraining on, does he drink a lot?
Oh, no, I was
definitely
taking you for a Guinness.
Yeah.
I just didn't expect you to, I wasn't sure like how enthusiastic you were.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's drinking beer in the hotel. It's going to be a good week. That was day one.
Yeah, that was day one. And then we went to Fealties and had, I think, probably the best Guinness while I've been here.
In my opinion, if you haven't been to Bangor, been to Fealties, the best Guinness in the entire world. And I've been to not a lot of places in the entire world.
I would agree.
To
and I've
really
not tried a lot of
Guinness.
Guinness.
No.
And I'm not Irish.
Yeah.
Maybe people from Dublin would disagree, but this guy pours a really good Guinness.
I've had some Guinness in some really nice bars in weird parts of Ireland, like down in Dingle in the very southwest. And only funny because you're not from Ireland. Dingle's a real place.
Dingleberry.
Interesting people in Dingle, yeah. And like, they're great. I mean, I said to you, like, Guinness in pretty much most like local bars in Ireland's amazing.
Yeah.
But Fealties and Bangor are just next level. The head on it's about the size of your foot.
Yes.
Like it's deep.
Soup.
It's weird. If you're a Guinness drinker and you go to Fealties Bangor and they pour it, you'll go, what in the fuck is happening to this? What have you done to this? But then once you bury your face into that little pillow of foam that they managed to swoosh up, and you drink it, and it's like not cold. It's not a cold Guinness. It's a slightly warmer Guinness.
Yeah.
It's like the best Guinness ever.
And that's what surprised me is the temperature of the Guinness.
Yeah.
And then when we had a pint last night, it was cold, and I was like, I don't like this. It's too cold. Yeah. So now when I go home now and have a Guinness, I'm like,
put it in the microwave for a bit.
You just leave it. Don't ever touch it.
Leave
and your mates are like, are you going to drink that?
That can's been in direct sunlight for
ever
ages.
Since you came back from Ireland, you just let your Guinness rest a weird amount.
Yeah. Well, see, when I pour mine now, I also do this to it and swoosh it round loads, because when you watch them pour it, they're like,
yeah, they do
that. A little bit. That's how it gets that big foam. So I still do that. It does not the same.
Say to your barman,
but it is beer in general is more flavorful the warmer it is to a point, and it's disgusting. So I think Guinness personally is better when it's a little warmer. I mean just a little bit, just a couple of degrees. So we'll go there tonight. Hopefully we get a successful surf, and then we'll finish up with
yes, that's the other thing that was actually very surprising, was that we had waves in Ireland, and we went to Portrush and surfed
East Strand,
and it was actually class.
Yeah.
And Dill completely underestimated his surfing ability. He thought that he had sold it. I was pleasantly surprised. I had minimal tips to give you.
Well,
other than maybe close your legs.
But confirmation, and that wasn't to do with the surfing at all.
Yeah, no.
That was the drive home. Confirmation Dylan can, in fact, surf, which is good because
confirmation.
I surf alone a lot. Which
you don't have any images. Well, actually, I don't think that's weird.
I have a few friends, Dan and Ewan and I like surfing with up there, and a few people I'm in Castle Rock that are good folks.
Yeah.
But generally, the guys I grew up surfing with don't really surf anymore. So I've got one friend, Chris, who I would surf with up there a lot. But it's like we're passing ships. So it was nice, and there was a massive swell hitting Ireland. So I was a bit concerned, like, is he going to enjoy this? Is this going to be enormous? And I was like, this really needs to be perfect.
Yeah.
So that like I can get in, because Rory's a good surfer. So if we get in and it's too big, I'm going to be like, that's actually a little large for me.
And then we got there. Already.
Yeah, I'd have to like snap a fin or something on purpose. Like, oh, bro, like you won't believe what just happened there. Like I saw you kick it. So got there, it was glass, clean,
not
blue
a
water.
breath of wind.
No one in the water. Blue skies.
It was actually unreal.
Yeah.
And it was like, how lucky have we become to get here at this one moment in time?
Yeah.
There's no one out.
There's no one out.
There was
And we got
two people out, but they were way off on the left-hand side.
And we got like a window of like an hour and a half of like just us.
And then the wind picked up and it was crap.
Irish wind. But and then you remember when you went in, you were like, there's no one here. Where is everyone? I was like, this is what it's like in Ireland, bro.
Because it was also Friday or a Saturday.
No, it was
Friday.
Friday.
It was Friday.
So it should have been more people bunking work. There was no one. I mean, it was like 10 o'clock on Friday or something like that. So I reckon
we're probably at work.
Yeah, they're probably doing. Yeah, we're looking around like, where's everyone?
We're being freelancers. Who walk around
having a business meeting in the sea.
Yeah,
that's what we're doing.
But then also we walk around and see other people in amongst the town and go, what the hell do these people do?
Yeah,
why are you not at work?
Someone in a coffee shop. You're like, get a fucking job.
But then they must be thinking exactly the same thing to us.
You two fucking hippies just cruising around. Yeah. Stinking of salt water.
Salty eyebrows.
Yeah, walking in here in your flip flops. It was good. Like I was really pleased to get it because I think the surfing up here is beautiful when it's on. I'm a fair bit away from it, but I try to get up as much as I can. So I was glad that worked out. And hopefully somebody caught a glimpse of him surf because he was on my board. So I'm hoping that someone like got a couple of shots of him doing something mad,
like a nice
and then mistake that for me, and then I'm just going to take the credit for it. So if it goes up on the North Coast surf, like anyone notice this ripper, I'll be like this, and I'll need someone else to go, I think that's Dill's new mid length.
Yeah,
I'll be like, that was.
Why is Dill shrunk?
Is he being on a cut? Like he looks way slimmer than he normally is.
Slimmer, and he's about a foot shorter.
Yeah, he looks like he's wearing a small man's wetsuit.
Yeah, this is the thing about sitting down. I'm only 5'7", and Dale's like almost 6 foot.
6 foot, if anyone asks.
Yeah. My wife asks, I'm 6 foot.
With my heels on, I'm 6 foot. Yeah, solid 5'11" now.
Yeah.
And just bulky muscle, really.
Yeah, muscle.
All muscle here. It's been good. Look, it's been class having you over.
Yeah, it's been cool to come over, actually, and you'll need to actually get your finger out and come to Newquay.
Yeah, I'll make it awkward and do 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Be like, I'll come out, I'll be like, I didn't bring a wallet either, so I'm like, I'm going to need to stay at your house. I lost my bag. I need some clothes.
You sleep on my couch.
Really awkward. Yeah. I didn't bring any shoes. I've flown over here in bare feet.
Yeah.
No, I will come over. I think I'd like to go do like a bit of Newquay and a bit of a wave pool would be good crack.
Yeah, we drive up to Bristol and do a wave pool.
That would be good crack.
Yeah.
But it has been class. It's been good, and I think like I mean, not that everyone on the internet's all right. There's some fucking weird people on the internet, but it's I was about to say it's okay to talk to people on the internet, which it kind of is. But it's a very like, I guess it's the way of the world.
Yeah.
But I think it's quite key for me. Like I found it very important over the years to the people that you do connect with on the internet that do seem legit and are okay, and you put the time in to talking. Like we've talked for about a year and a half.
Yeah.
Like I think it makes a big difference meeting people in real life because it opens up avenues for so much stuff.
Yeah. Like I would never have gone, like I've never been to Ireland before.
Yeah.
So this was an excuse to get there.
Yeah.
All of a sudden and see a different part of the UK, which is mental to think about.
Yeah.
I've never been here. But then also the actual name of social media.
Yeah.
To be social with someone.
Yeah.
And make a friend.
Yeah. Internet friend.
Instagram friend. But it was, for me anyway, because the way that I think I found you was through YouTube or Instagram.
Yeah.
I can't remember because it was probably
YouTube.
like
that sounds cooler than Instagram.
7 years ago or something. I don't know. Whenever your what was it?
Must
Thinking
have
a video of
probably Power Video, was it?
Power Video, yeah, because it was when Casey Neistat and Peter and all the Canadians were over.
Yeah, all the boys.
And then I think it was just like a follow, and then realized you were into surfing.
Yeah.
And then all I would do every so often was just comment on a photo or message you and say,
yeah, that's what I would pop a photo of the surfboards or something, and then it started with that, and then you were like, what?
And it wasn't really like, I should probably meet this guy because then I'll get famous.
Yeah, because I was trying to do the same thing with other direction.
Yeah. And then, it was literally just like we had a lot of things in common. And then I started to take more photos and want to really become a freelancer. And then thought, fuck, Dill seems to be screwed on and he's been doing this for ages.
Yeah.
Let's ask him a question and see what he says.
Yeah.
And you're, from all the other people that I follow who in my head way back then was like, super successful, you actually commented and you actually replied.
Yeah.
Which you don't get a lot of.
No,
and we talked about this with Jossie, is it seems like every photographer is out to like shit on the next one and not help each other out.
And I don't think that's like a proactive thing.
I don't think they mean to.
I think people are like scared to talk about stuff. I think people just like, they hold their cards close to their chest. They don't want to like let anybody know in case. It's like, well, I don't want to say that in case that person steals my work.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that in case this person does that.
And I found that with wedding photographers because I'm shooting a mate's wedding which is usually, I guess, how people get into it. Because why would you ever ask someone who's never shot a wedding before to shoot your wedding? And I went on a Facebook group and, tried to get some second shooting experience so that I can see.
Which is a good way of getting into
to see how someone else does it. But then you get these old boys who have been obviously shooting for years in their 50s or whatever, still wedding photographers, still using Nikons.
And shooting with bins. And
they're just saying, all these people who are looking for second shooting experience and wanting to use these photos for their portfolio, why would I train you up to then take my clients?
Yeah.
And my argument for that is...
You'll be dead soon.
No. Yes. But then also... There are so many more weddings happening.
Oh, yeah.
You're not going to shoot every wedding.
Yeah. No, you're not.
So at least be like, no, I can't do that wedding, but I've trained up this guy who's been second shooting for me for ages. He's amazing, looking to get better.
And they should be mentoring you to say, charge the right amount of money.
Yeah, that was my point of it. Like, why aren't you doing that? But, and then you kind of do that.
Yeah, I do that. Like, I'm very I've never seen the point in hiding things. And I think that's because I've pushed so hard about personal brand, so that I've built my business and my client base on personal brand, on like how I shoot, not what I do, but how I do it. So I like to feel like people enjoy working with me, but I also make and I remember we talked about this on the phone. I was like, people in this industry take this approach that the client is doing you a favor by hiring you.
Yeah.
But I'm like, yes, but you're also doing them a favor by doing the job.
Yeah.
And if we can stop looking at this idea that like one person's more important, like you need to collaborate together. The client and the creative need to work together, and together you make the magic.
Yeah.
And I like to work with people that I like.
That's a good one.
I need that.
Together we'll make the magic.
Yeah. It's very erotic though. But go back to that keep your legs closed situation. Yeah. So it's like, it is that idea that needs to be a collaboration between the two. And I think when you start to look at it like that, then you also as a creative can be selective of who your clients are. And like people are petrified. People are petrified of that at the start. To be like, oh, I'll just do it work for anyone. And I have worked with some clients over the years that I like early days where like they're in my black book. Like I do have like a blacklist of like 3 clients that I'll be like, I'll never work with them ever again just because they don't align. They don't align. One of them was a horrible mistake, and then a couple others. But it's just like they just don't align with me. There's not like maybe isn't respect, or they have a different way of doing stuff. And I generally try to work with people I like, businesses I like. Yeah. And I think when you start to do that, then there's like not only a mutual respect for each other, but there's a mutual investment. You give a shit about what they're doing, they give a shit about what you're doing, and together you solve problems rather than just hiring a dude to point a camera and push some buttons.
Yeah.
And I think if we can all embrace that style a bit more, then again, you're competing on your ability and your personality.
Yeah. And to be less, not less grateful, but I was really bad at going, thank you so much for hiring me.
Yeah.
And being more like, what you said was, we've worked together. Like, I'm doing you a favor by making this for you because you need it.
Yeah.
Rather than, yes, I might need the work.
Yeah.
We're both in need of something.
Yeah.
So, but I should, as the photographer and the videographer or whatever, be less, oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
It's like I appreciate that you're nice. Hiring and paying me, and they should be like appreciated that you're helping create this content. But I look back at my full-time employment, and it's funny, when I was a lot younger then, I had hair as well. And when I look back
this
at that
guy, Dill always will never not wear a hat.
When I look back at that guy, I'm like, you should have wore a hat less because you can't do that now. But the other thing I look back at is I'm like, I wish I'd been a bit more ballsy when I worked full-time, because I had managers who would have like treated you like that. And then like people, and I mean, like I worked in some businesses that were quite big and there was a whole load of different managers, but I always felt like the employee, and that idea of like, like I'm here, they're paying me, I have to do it. But I'm like, but then I got to this point in the agency. It was quite nice. I had a real nice creative director based in Dublin. A guy called Ian who I worked with. It was a bunch of great people in that team, but that guy Ian particularly was very like supportive of the importance of having a creative person. So he would always have pushed for like, you need to like people should respect what the creative person is doing. And he was really good with that. And I always kind of liked, the way he did stuff. And it was a dual thing. It was a guy, him and Andrew, and it was 2 of them that did that. They were both coming from different sides, art director, copywriter, but they were both very much like that same thing. But I just had a few key conversations with Ian, and he gave me a real push on the importance of like the value of a creative person. Because, I mean, you think about it, like if you hire a plumber or an electrician to come to your house, you're probably the same with the electrician who you're paying as you are to the client who's paying you.
Yeah.
All right, mate. You want a wee cup of tea there? And then you're like, oh, if you need a hand.
Yeah, you're trying to be so accommodating to them when they come in.
If someone's bringing a sofa into my house, I'll help them carry it in.
Yeah.
And I'm being so nice and friendly because they're doing me this great favor by fixing my plumbing or helping with delivering my sofa.
Yeah.
So it's like, but it's the same thing when I'm doing work for other people. But I've learned that like by just being more aware of that, I've built a customer base of cool people that I like working with.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope that, I hope you've enjoyed the podcast. I hope we've fucking, at least if you walk away here with something other than a fucking can of...
I'm going to go straight to Habitat and buy some new mugs. That's what I'm going to do.
Use my code, mugs10.
Yeah. Mugs, Dill Mug 10.
We'll go straight in there. I get mugs 10 at the fucking thing. Like, this checkout does not work.
No.
No, it's cool. Well, it's been good having you over here.
Yeah, it's been class.
Yeah.
I'll hopefully be over again soon.
If people want to find out more about Mr. Kidd, where do they need to go?
If you can spell my name, Dill might put it in the comments or in the description.
Ruaridh.
It's Ruaridh Kidd on Instagram. And I think it's the exact same on YouTube because I'm slowly making more YouTube videos.
Nice.
And then my business is just Arcade Media.
Nice.
Because people can't spell Rory.
Which is better.
Arcademedia.com.
Nice. Cheers, dude. Check it out and catch you next episode.
Oh.
Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better.
Oh, I didn't do that for that long. Just too like waiting there for ages. I was going to do the click, but I fucking forgot.